I am Dr. Thompson, Akwo Ntuba, international physician, politician, communicator. Updates on gun violence, gun violence, updates on gun violence, and victims of murder or murder victims. We are having reports out of San Francisco that fentanyl abuse is leading to the death of many, many people, and of about 100% of those who are dying are affected. A great proportion of them are minorities. And the minorities don't make a big population in San Francisco. So something is wrong somewhere. And something has to be done about this opioid addiction or abuses and death. But those who think that it's a lost battle are already lost in their thinking. For there is no challenge on earth that man cannot overcome. And this one too will be taken care of. It will be controlled. And the people will gain back their health. There will be health improvement, there will be health promotion, there will be health protection because of constant health information that is being given to the people alongside the other instruments that work together to bring about positive outcomes in this issue. We are grappling with deaths in the USA. Yesterday, the 26th of September, was celebrated in the city of Houston, Texas, as Remembrance Day of Victims of Murder. And the leadership of the city, representatives of the sheriff of the county, the district attorney herself, Og, the leaders of parents of murdered children, Mila, the director of the Crime Stoppers organization, the nonprofit that is doing a great and wonderful job in the city of Houston, working with city leaders, the mayor, the Honorable Sylvester Turner, working with the highly educated, experienced Chief of Houston Police Department, Chief Troy Finner, and Harris County Commissioners, and the people and families affected with their advocates. Crime advocates came together in the auditorium of Houston's Crime Stoppers, as it is said, the biggest in the United States, with the biggest building that the leadership is and was so proud of, address the issues which involve murder in the USA, in the city of Houston, in the county of Harris, in the state of Texas. And one common denominator, or that which seemed to appear in all the speeches which were made, is murder by those who are unborn or on bail outside, with previous history of multiple felonies, armed assault, who everybody will believe that they constitute an imminent danger in society if they are released to society. People of that nature are being released to the society on bail, on bond, by certain and particular judges that the leadership, the people are pointing fingers at. This area of people with that history committing crimes like that is now in the forefront of the discussion. But talking to the leadership of the Crime Stoppers, talking to the commissioners of Harris County who were in the meeting, talking to police leaders and bosses, talking to the affected parents and friends and families of the murder victims. I continue to tell them that it's a very complex problem. Because even though the DA was talking about the judges that are releasing these people out there, we are aware of the fact that in the last election that the DA was involved in, there were fingers pointed at her. Her opponents were accusing her and asking her to take responsibility for the same deaths that she is saying that the judges are responsible for. That only tells you that there are different layers and different groups of people, governmental institutions and leaders and persons who are involved in the criminal justice system, including the people who are working or should be working with Crime Stoppers to make sure that they contribute information that will lead to solving these problems. Yes, there was a lot of crying in the hall by the affected. But as Chief Troy Afina said to the people, we are here for the family, we are here for you, and we'll continue to be there for you. And said the city can do better. And obviously, I know that the people are committed in trying to do better. There's also those who believe that the judges' hands are also tied by the community. As I said, yes, this is a big group, but within the communities or the whole community in Houston, it's a very small group within the millions of people within the metro Houston. And the judges, as I told the leadership about the complexity and the unfortunate situation of pointing fingers at the judges, especially those on the bench, because if the DA and her prosecutors take away themselves, then it is not the bar or the government bar, it is the bench. And so fingers are pointed at the bench, the judges, and the judges also have spoken to me in the courts. I've asked questions why it is like that. And they have said they are applying the law. That's why some people say the system is broken. There need to be amendment of the laws at the level of the regional legislature or the state legislature. So these are complex issues because those judges also are going in for elections. The judges are elected. And as long as county commissioners, police officers, mayor, councillors want to keep their elected office or the people's office, the judges also want to keep, though it is the people's judicial positions, but the judges also want to like have a job, be able to take care of their children, send them to school. So you who is protecting your own office, which is a government office, should know that the judges also are working to protect theirs. So as we are pointing fingers at them, they are also looking at us. Because bail and parole is what the people ask them to do for them. So there are also millions of people who want the judges to give them bail and parole if they commit a crime and things like that. So we should be clear and specific. What do we want of the bail system? What do we want of the parole system? Take it away completely? Or go in there and reform it and try to put certain safeguards and clauses? That can be done, and that should be done. Overgeneralization does not make sense. Pointing all those fingers at judges doesn't make sense. Those judges did not pull any trigger to kill anybody. So, I believe there is limited responsibility. But I'm calling on and resounding or echoing what has been said over and over. Homicide rates in Houston are going up and are very high. I think they say it is about 31% above what it was in 2000. That is unfortunate, it's uncalled for, and it's not the problem of the Chief of Police, Troy Finner. It is the problem of the whole community. Yes, we know that COVID created its own problems. There have been domestic abuses, crimes, people stay at home, they are away from their businesses, and then people feel that, okay, if people are not there, they can break through and then, hurt people, or all sorts of things. COVID has contributed a lot in the increase of crimes around the world. Battery, domestic abuses, because people are staying home more, they are interacting with their spouses more, and who has not really been frustrated somehow by COVID? Everybody has been, even the President of the United States, presidents around the world, they are saying the same things in hunger. Economies have been smashed, destroyed, and that. So that creates frustration. If not because of banana republics where they vote themselves in, places where democracy works. Isn't that the reason why Donald Trump lost the elections for the most part? COVID. So, except for banana republics where they are life presidents, where no matter what they do, they steal the elections, do whatever, manipulate the place and keep themselves there, you'll be scared and anxious that you'll be voted out. So, these are not things that we should be joking about and playing with. These are very, very serious things. This same issue of murder. Today they are doing the funeral, they are burying of a police leader by the person and name of Williams Jeffrey. And William Jeffrey is, I don't know what I should say, is unfortunate, but he was actually executed a warrant from the courts, right? So the courts that we say don't do their job. He was executing a warrant from the courts, a narcotics-related warrant, in an apartment home in the northeast side of Houston. And then, in shooting, he died. I have asked the chief of police whose bullet actually took him down. Because they said they are undercovers and people like that. So you may never really tell if they're undercovers. It means that there are people in other places who may be shooting or not. You never can tell. So after the forensic work was done at the medical examiner's office at the Forensic Institute, there I asked Chief Troy Finner, whose bullet actually took down. Well, towards the end, he actually said, they don't know. But he died all the same. And somebody shot him. To say you are going to execute a warrant on a narcotics-related case or person is talking about drugs. And we've been talking about drugs, drug abuse, addiction, recovery, which is the better way. The criminalization may not have worked much, the jailing of people. So people have been talking about the preventive measure, the therapeutic measure, the public health approach, and then still working with the criminal justice system to address the problem. But more emphasis is set to support the communities to be able to do primary prevention, because most of the times at the level of secondary or tertiary prevention, you are dealing with hardened cases which can be so difficult to manage. It is easier to do it at the primary level. Most times people who have never done drug or even they have not even tried. It is easier at that level. When it begins to go to secondary, where they are already drug addicts or, everyday drug users, then it begins to become difficult because, no matter what you do, the recovery programs themselves, they have very high rates of relapses. Those who are in the hospitals, those who have been sent, for treatment by the court systems, they have had difficulties most times, and many of them have actually committed suicide by cops, where they do some of these things that maybe would have happened to Officer William Jeffrey, where somebody sees a police officer and shoots at them with the intention that if I kill one, they will kill me. So if I can't shoot myself and kill myself, I can provoke the officers to kill me. That is also possible. So it is pretty very unfortunate, but we are actually emphasizing the primary prevention measures in SUDs and behavioral addiction issues. The better. It's not like the police don't have a place in it. They do. Because when you have dealers, there are some people who don't even use drugs. They just deal in drugs. They are criminals who complicate life for others, because they are smart enough to know that this thing destroys. So they are not going to destroy themselves, but they deal it. They sell it to others who, I don't know, for whatever reasons, they use it and then get stuck on it, and that's the beginning of the end. Then their lives become unmanageable. The withdrawal symptoms and problems. For many of you who think that it is easy, it is not. Have you ever spoken to alcoholics, people who abuse alcohol? For liver cirrhosis, hepatocellular carcinoma, and cancer of the liver, as we call it in medicine, all of those things and related problems up there. And then Governor Abbott and his Republicans, for whatever reason, maybe to have votes, have decided that you can just go buy the guns and put it wherever you want. And so, can you imagine people who are addicts, never had a gun before, or no crime that will stop them? So they have guns. If they want to steal stuff or whatever, money, or go to the bank or rob somebody, because they need to actually take care of their addiction. They need to buy stuff, because the withdrawal symptom is not easy for them to manage. They need to, and you see, the drugs actually they change the homeostasis of the body completely. So there is a new normal where there is a certain amount of the drug is acceptable, accommodated chemical of the body, and the body now functions of that. If you win the body of that, or you try to stop it, it's called withdrawal syndrome. There are too many problems which they cannot tolerate. So they have to go into that. That is why we have to be smart in the way that we solve the problem.